This is Gerard Linde. I'm the Director at Tax and Compliance, and today I just want to take you through your tax journey. When you find out you have tax debt, what is the first things that you need to do, or just to check, to double check some of your taxes, just to get to know where your taxes or your debt comes from. We get a lot of times people get to us and then they don't know where the debt is, why is there debt. So I'm just going to take you through some practical steps. Some of the first things that you would receive is a final demand. Now, normally, the last few months, SARS has been issuing final demands from e-filing. That would pop up either in your inbox or in the inbox of your accountant or your tax practitioner. Now, a final demand looks like this. It will give you the date and the tax reference number for what the debt is on, and it will give you a time frame to pay your debt. Normally within 10 days of issuance of the letter, with the amount coupled to it. Now, sometimes when people get this, the amounts doesn't make sense. So there's a couple of things that you can do just for your own sake, have a look at the debt to try to figure out where it comes from and why is there debt. So I know a lot of times people don't have access to e-filing or they leave it to their accountants, but you can run it through your accountants and maybe go sit with them just to get to the bottom of it. So if you log into e-filing, the very first thing that you can do is you can go onto your tax status bar at the top right. And once you're in there, you just go to your compliance profile and let that open up. And once that is open, you'll see wherever there's red, which shows non-compliant, there is the issue somewhere. For argument's sake, if you just go into debt, you'll see there is some debt here, and it's spread over periods of VAT, PAYG, and SDL and UAF, and it will show some breakdowns if you go onto the panels. So you can have a bit of an understanding of where my debt comes from the screen quickly, just to see, from what periods there might be debt. Once you've realized this, you can dig a bit deeper into your taxes and to go and find out, what might be the reason. Very simple thing is if you deal with VAT, and although I understand businesses don't always understand their taxes, they leave it up to their accountants, but there's certain things that you need to know and be aware of when you have taxes like that and pay as you earn. And you leave it completely up to your accountants or people filing it for you. Now, what happens with that sometimes is that if you submit a VAT return, either if it's a claim, you're claiming money back from SARS, or there's money that needs to be paid in, sometimes SARS will request, supporting documents. And if those supporting documents aren't submitted, SARS can't verify your claim or your return that you submitted, and they would disallow certain things. That plays a huge role in either the taxes not being correct or that resulting into a debt or something that had to be a refund. If you just go onto one of your periods, for argument's sake, you see once your return is submitted, they'll give you the date when it's submitted. And then what SARS will do is they'll open up a tab here for showing supporting documents. And you need to submit this within the given time frame. Normally they give you about 21 working days. It depends on when you open up your letter to see how long you've got, if you've missed a period. But the crux of it is here that if you sit with your accountant or you ask him to show the documents that have been submitted, if you go onto this tab, you'll see there is documents submitted here, and it was submitted within a reasonable time frame after submitting your return. If no documents are submitted, there will be a 0, and then there will be a second one asking for final submission of documents. And if that also has not been done, SARS will close the matter and they will issue an additional assessment, which will come and lie here, which you'll see additional assessment. And on that is that's where taxes might not make sense, but in this additional assessment, SARS would have raised extra taxes. So that's just one of the mechanics that you can look at in terms of supporting documents. That's probably one of the most important things when you look at these things, is that your supporting documents needs to be on time. If you can verify, your supporting documents on time, ask your accountant to print your statement of account for all your taxes, and then go through your periods and to see, if you show that you paid or not paid, you can locate periods with amounts on it, and that will show you where your problem area lies, and you can pinpoint maybe a certain period, and then you can establish, was something not done correctly, and can you object towards your debt, or if you've done that and everything is correct, but you just owe money because you couldn't pay, you didn't have cash flow issues, then you need to go back and say, okay, well, I need to contact SARS so that we can, make an arrangement to repay the money that we owe in installments. Or if something happened like last year in COVID and business couldn't operate, you accumulated a lot of debt and you can't repay it, then you need to try see if you cannot compromise. That means, settling with them on an amount for the full amount. So those are basically the options that you have. But it's important, if you look at the final demand, that you act within your given timeframes, or try to contact them, or ask your advisor to help you to get into contact with SARS so that you can manage this process. Because there are some things that it's very dangerous when you just leave it and you put your head in the sand. So SARS will continue their collection steps, and the most common one that they're doing at the moment is that they will, if they follow their processes correctly, they get to a stage where they can attach money from your bank, and that normally happens, towards the end of the month when you're about to pay salaries, or when they mostly know that there will be some money in the account. You'll wake up one morning and then some monies are taken from your account, and that can severely hamper your ability to pay your employees on time, or pay your suppliers, or just operate in the normal sense of the word. So it's very important that once you get these things, is to be very hands-on and to manage it correctly so that you don't end up there. Always good to find out these things for yourself. Contact someone just to sit with you and understand where your problems lie, so that you can pinpoint it and pursue a solution as quick as possible. Don't just leave it and think it will go away. It won't. You might not get a notification from SARS again, but obviously you had your first notification giving you a certain amount of days. They don't need to come back to you and say, oh, you need to remember to pay. Those things are up to you after you've received it to come back to them with. So sometimes you feel like SARS is quiet, so it's good, so I'm just going to leave it. And that's where the problem lies. You don't know what they're doing at the back end if you've not done what you needed to do. So that's why it's really important to take care of your taxes and make sure you've got someone in your corner who can manage it correctly and timelessly. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and it makes a bit more sense just to uncover where your tax debt might arise, or where you can look on e-filing or ask for a bit more detail on your taxes from your accountants or your tax practitioners. If you like this video, like and subscribe, give us a comment, give us a like. If you've got specific topics you want us to cover, please leave it in the comments or ask us. We've got a contact box at the bottom if you need to get into contact with us. If we need to help you managing your tax debt to get you to a compliant state, you can find the links below. Until next time, bye-bye.